Good morning. Welcome to Weird and Woo Woo. I'm weird. We all get a little woo woo. Okay. Open up the blinds a little bit more. We're gonna do a week ahead tarot. Now, I have had some hiccups. I had things going on, technical issues that were going on, and I couldn't do half of what I wanted to this weekend. And it felt like I just was supposed to sit on it, meaning like I felt a lot of messages that needed to come through, but for whatever reason I had pushback from doing it. Right then, they just said right then. So, and the energy is ramped up big time. So, the PSA that I want to put out there is this before we get into the weekly tarot. Okay. If you keep wondering what it is that you need to do, this is something that came through for me. As far as making something happen. Your job in the co-creative process is not to like a lot of the action that you could try to think of, right, is in regards to, so what you're trying to think of things of like, well, how do I get the money? Well, you'd start trying to do things, you know what I'm saying, in order to be able to bring the money in specifically, right? And right now I feel like that's not your job. The how or the methods or getting it to you, getting an opportunity to you, or getting something to you isn't your job. That's not your part in the co-creative process. So yes, you're meant to be doing something. Your job is to make sure that you're ready and prepared to receive it. Let's say, just as you would prepare your home and make sure that you had a bed and a bed that was made and a space and things like that. If somebody were coming to visit you, you would make sure that you were able to welcome them in, right? If your house was cluttered with nothing but boxes and no space for them, you couldn't welcome it in, correct? If a plane is coming in to land on a strip, you wouldn't have it riddled with all kinds of other vehicles and different things like that. You would clear it out so that you could receive what was coming through, correct? So what you need to do is spend some time in meditation or in self-reflection and in open receptivity to receive like the guidance and understanding of what it is that you have to do in order to be able to receive that thing. Now, some things are going to be low-hanging fruit, okay? For instance, right now, I want to say for those who are undergoing location change, it is time to make sure that you lighten your weight, okay? So that you are ready and prepared to act on something when necessary, meaning that if you've got extra stuff in storage and it's like another go through where it's like, do I really, like ask yourself, if I were to move somewhere else, is it worth hauling this to go with me? Do I really need it that much, or can I just address the issue when it comes up? Like, I've got this saved because what if this? It's like going through and lightening your load, correct? That would be a way of being able to be receptive for when or if the time came, correct? Also getting your paperwork in order, making sure that paperwork is complete and up to date and all that kind of stuff. Making sure that you have everything easily accessible in one location so you're not having to scrounge through it. If you have papers thrown everywhere and if you have things, it's like you should know exactly where everything is at any given moment. You should have easy access to it. It should be, you should know what's within your possession, things like that. So whether that's for your mortgage loan, you know, in case, oh, time comes now, it's time to sell. Like, everything is right there, and there's nothing that impedes the process for when the opportunity arrives, right? So that's something that's needing to be taken care of. And again, just think through what would stop me from being able to receive what it is that I want, what I'm asking for, or from receiving an opportunity that I desire that would benefit me. What is standing in my way, in my environment, in my life, my current circumstance as it is. And then taking care of that. Not, oh, how do I even get the opportunity? Because opportunity is that's being handled by spirit, okay? Whatever opportunity it is. Confirmation. So, let me make sure there's nothing. Oh, okay. So, there's that. Anywho's. All right. That's the housekeeping. So we're going to do the week ahead tarot. If you're going to stick around to see if there's a message for you, amazing. If not, I hope you have a fabulous day. For those who are sticking around, a friendly reminder that you are a sovereign being over your life, which means you get to determine if, how, when, where, why any of these messages might apply, okay? So whatever you do, don't Cinderella shit to make it fit, okay? Okay. Numbing. Now I am going to clear the air with my bell. So for the next 10 seconds, you may want to either take the earbuds out, lower the volume, fast forward, whatever that is. But I've got to take care of a little bit of business, and then we'll be back on game. Fantastic. All right. Okay, Spirit, where do we want to go? Where do we want to start off with this? They're showing me somebody getting out into nature. They're showing me like doing a ritual in nature, kind of like, again, this could be like a self-care ritual. This could be, you know, like just a way to reconnect with spirit, setting intentions, but there's something about doing it in the outdoor space in nature, with nature as best you can, given your circumstances, even if it means if you're in the middle of the city and you have to go out on like on a terrace or something to that effect, connecting with the night sky, something like that, right? I am seeing candles. Just be careful. I would say, like, if you're doing anything with candles and you're out in nature, you know, make sure that you are on top of it, that you're in the appropriate space and, you know, that kind of stuff, which, I mean, you know. All right. I don't know what that pertains to, but I do think somebody needs to connect with nature. On that note, okay, thank you. This is my book. This is my book. Lord, guys, my Oracle deck that has that like connect with nature in it, and so they just sent me to it. I'm like, okay, makes sense. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to start with this. It's the Messenger Oracle deck. I would say if there's anything that you're doing ceremonial, like anything ceremonial, if outdoors, again, not an option, bring the outdoors indoors. If you can collect anything specifically in your area, is what I'm hearing. Spirit, what do you want us to talk about for this week? Seek the lesson. Share your thoughts. Oh. This just feels like there's information to be shared with others around you. Like if there's an epiphany or an aha or an understanding or a revelation or a download, seeking the lesson is, I feel like it's more not so much like, oh, what did I learn from having to go through all this? It's more like see the truth of a matter, like see the truth in something, like there's something beneath the surface. Seek the greater understanding of what's being shown, because I'm seeing like maybe information coming to you that's a bit cryptid from spirit, and you're like, and you end up deciphering it and you share that with others. Share your thoughts really is exactly what it says about sharing some kind of revelation, epiphany, understanding, so that others are privy to what you now know. Uh, 35 might be significant for somebody. Are you serious? Why did I do that? I tell you what. Focus and then act. Overall is the idea of sharing information, sharing knowledge, sharing something with others so that they can too utilize that. I feel like that's to help them maneuver. So like something that you understand, learn, or discover is going to help and benefit others. I feel as if there's being like some kind of trip up on the lesson. Like I think this is just seek to understand something. Because the lesson is really just, another term I would use is understanding, like coming to an understanding, a revelation, you know, and this may be in the fact that, like, I'm picking up others seeking the information from you. Like people are looking for something that you have figured out. Like you may be able to fill in the blanks for somebody. Well, we'll pull some cards on this because that, oh, are you kidding me? Sometimes I thought I broke my nail. Sorry. Focus and then act. Obviously this lacks impulsivity. This is taking mindful action on something, being very conscious of the way in which you choose to maneuver. All right, let's pull some cards because I know that it wants to talk. I feel it barking at me, not to have a pun, but you know. Okay, so we're starting with Starman Tarot. Okay, come on. If you've thought of biting your tongue in regards to something, like I'm seeing something, I feel like you see something, you understand something, and you've thought of maybe it's not a good idea, or there's been this energy of observe but don't speak, observe but don't say, you know. It's kind of along the lines of like I guess on TikTok they're doing like the listen and don't judge, right? But this is more like observe, don't speak, or observe, don't react. Now it's kind of like you're meant to speak. So I don't know if you're coming from that energy of hold on, wait a minute, let me not say something. Now I feel as if you're meant to. You're meant to. It may be that there was information that needed to be revealed to other people before you mentioned something. Like, telling people to this, like telling somebody to get we should do X, Y, and Z because of these concerns, right? And they might be like, well, why would we? It's not even a reality. Why would you? Versus saying we should do X, Y, and Z after. Because like you may have like a list of things as to why you should do it, right? And as soon as three of the things on that list of 20 shows up, it's like, see, this is a potential. Let's go ahead and be proactive. Let's do, kind of thing. So it's almost like somebody had to get some kind of perspective before you could introduce something as an idea, before you could share something. Eight of Cups, Five of Cups, Four of Wands, Four of Pentacles. Four of Wands and Four of Pentacles is about stability. This is kind of like leaving a volatile situation, or leaving a situation that's riddled with, I don't even want to say, it could be volatile, disappointment, like something where it's like, ooh, this is not a good scenario. I feel like somebody has gotten proof. Someone has gotten, they can see the evidence that something's not going right. And it's time to leave that behind. You're meant to leave, you're meant to walk away. There may be some disappointment, but like all is not lost, is what I want to say. Because it takes you to a very firm foundation, with a lot of security. So you do this to secure yourself, to create a sense of stability. So there is a need to kind of like it's probably best we move in a different direction because of certain things that are occurring. We need to position ourselves better, is what I want to say. Focus and then act. Five of Pentacles. The Sun. Yeah, this is for you. This is walking away from something before immense disappointment. I feel like saying you may be witnessing other people go through a lot of disappointment. It is moving in a different direction to secure oneself. Yourself, your family, whatever. It's like, I can see the writing is on the wall, is what I just heard. The writing is on the wall. This very well may be in regards to a mention of the location change that we've been talking about. A lot of that is going to be happening. There may be certain dynamics and difficulties and circumstances that are happening in the environment in which you live, your neighborhood, your state, your community, your family, and it's like, okay, I need to make some decisions to better maneuver myself. Five of Pentacles is, it's removing yourself. I just want to say it's the sense of, I get a sense of staying put is going to leave you. It's not just despair. It is, and it's, I don't want to say lack. You're going to end up, on the outside. They keep showing, okay, let's go to right away. Like the church where they're on the outside. You're going to be left on the outside. So what I get from that is there's certain people that can stay in this environment and they'll be safe. And I'm like, it's low-hanging fruit. I am thinking of, like, let's say it's a work environment, you know, people who have been with a company for a strong period of time, and they might be middle management and things like that. They're safe. Low men on the totem pole, they're going to be the first to go, right? Maybe there's certain departments, they're going to be okay, but other departments, not so much. Like, you see the writing is on the wall. You are able to speak something, you can share something that you received, something that you know to be a potential, to be a very strong reality. And it's kind of like you were asked to wait until evidence, like some semblance of evidence, showed up in reality to kind of like back you up, right? And I also think seek the lesson is seek to understand why this is important, why it unfolded in this capacity, because I believe that you know and have received and can intuit something that you need to do. You know you need to walk away. You are witnessing others go through the Five of Cups. You may have experienced your own version of Five of Cups. But the idea on the Five of Cups is there's those that were spilled, but there's the other two that are over here. There's a way to secure oneself in this process, in what's happening. And I want to say, again, if this is, even if we use current events, in the United States, we have a lot of really shitty things happening. Where people are being scrutinized, detained, and deported. We're talking American citizens. We're talking people who've been born here, lived here, you know, or were born to an American citizen, but their right to be here is being questioned. And despite there seems to be no following of the law or rules going on, we have veterans and American citizens being detained unlawfully. And so you can see the writing is on the wall. You can see this. And this is kind of like, now is the time to speak up. If you were like, if I say something before now, they're going to think I'm crazy. And this may be in regards to a spouse. This could be in regards to family members, or just, you know, who, like you're like, if I say something, people are going to look at me kind of strange, like, oh, you're dramatizing stuff. Now that there's evidence that it's not being dramatized, you're like, this is definitely a possibility, even if it's not hit home yet to you. And this is going to be exceptionally true for anybody who lives, who has made a foreign land, I don't like that term, their home. This is going to be exceptionally true for women, specifically, as things are being, their right to, like, given that their sense of security in regards to, how do I put this? Where they are at, it is being threatened. And this is very true for anybody who has any amount of melanin in their skin. The current atmosphere and dynamics within a lot of countries, your ethnicity, your cult, like all of it is being taken into consideration and being used as leverage to deem some, like to use against someone, period. And this is nothing that you know, born into these circumstances, nothing that you can change, nor would you want to, and shouldn't even be a fucking factor, but it is. So it is showing up. And so, you know, while other people can exist in a particular environment or in a situation or scenario, you cannot. You would be the person left on the outside. So you have to be proactive and think about what you need to do in order to establish and move towards this sense of security and foundation, okay? The Four of Wands and Four of Pentacles. This sense of safety and security. And so you have to make decisions and take actions according to what is best for you. Seven of Wands is also about knowing, standing up for your beliefs and knowing which ones are worth fighting for and which ones are like, that you're worth fighting for, okay? And the Sun says you will be successful in this fight. However it may look. It may not appear to be much of a battle, but on the outside, or maybe even experienced internally. But this is, you will have success in choosing you when your environment, situation, circumstances would not. Five of Pentacles is you're outside of where everybody's inside, warm, happy, fed. You're on the outside. Whoever I'm talking to, you would be on the outside. You would not be one of the protected ones. So it's time to move. It's time to change. Okay. And you will be victorious in this. This path will be cleared for you. It will be made easy for you if you so choose it. But you would not be one of the protected ones. Wheel of Fortune. You will actually be, and I think that it feels as if you've known this, the dynamics in which you've existed, you've kind of known this. But you're about to face that reality if you don't choose. And this is not fear-mongering. This is somebody who already knows this. And it's like when your best friend sits down with me and is like, look, I'm gonna fucking tell you exactly how you know. This is, like, they tell you like it is. And it's like, this is spirit telling you like it is. You already know this to be true. This is not something where it's like, when you get this, you may get like a, in the heart space, but you also have this very settling energy and understanding. And sharing your thought, it's like, it's time for me to do this. I have to do for me. And so this is telling, like speaking it into existence. It is sharing what you know and moving forward. Okay. Focus and then act. Okay. Let me hold on. I went to, Two of Wands. That's taking the action. There's something about sharing this, expressing it, and making it known. That happening before the taking action. The choice and how to take action. Because the Two of Wands is, I have two options of how I can go about this. I may have more than one desire. How do I choose? Because the twos are always the crossroads. It is, but when you're like, it is the manifestation, the bringing it into fruition. This is the actions that are taken. This is the creation of it, right? The wand suit is the creation. And so I want to say that this is kind of like what direction do you want to go? And how do you want to go about it? So that's why I focus and then act. How do you want to go about this? There may be, once you share your thoughts, share your understanding, so that other people can get it, then it comes down to, how do you want to go about this? Like, is this a situation, let's use, I know my job's going to be eliminated. Do I want to take on unemployment for a period of time, give myself some rest, so that and use that time to get different skills, different certificates, or and then try to apply for a job? Or do I want to go ahead and start looking for a job now, preemptively knowing that my position will be eliminated, and go ahead and just, whatever, and get a different job, and then I can go back for a certificate if there's something else that needs to be done. But like, how do you want to go about this? How do you want to maneuver this? Do you know that you need to leave a particular situation? Do you want to move in with someone else? Or are you going to look for a space that you can afford on your own, and by proxy limit your options then because of costs? Do you want to move to a different state? Do you want to move out of the country? Do you want to, it's like, okay, how do you want to do this? Now that you are at that space, and that your intentions, and that you've shared these understandings, that you've come to the realizations, and that you see, and other people can see where you're coming from. There's something about the element of other people seeing this and understanding why you're doing this, or being aware. They can't really fight you on it, so to speak, is what I want to say. Or sow seeds of doubt, because there's this proof. It's like, this isn't coming from some kind of like, I'm pulling it out of my ass kind of thing. Like, they see it, they understand it. And so again, how do I want to maneuver with this? So the idea of the 8 of Cups is what is leaving this potential 5 of Cups, right? And how do I decide? Like, how do I want to go about that? It's sitting with that, and how do I want to go about that? And what direction do I want to let that take me? Because in that would be the guidance, right? We said in the beginning, during the channeling of announcements and stuff like that, I said you need to do the preparatory work to receive something. Well, that determines, like, are you just looking to go out of state? Are you looking to go out of the country? Are you going to go ahead and start applying for jobs now? Or are you going to go ahead and let the layoff happen and get unemployment, blah, blah, blah? What's more risky for you? What do you think is the better course of action? Because that would determine what you need to do in order to be prepared to receive what it is that you want, right? So there's still an element of decision. Knight of Cups. Give me just a second. They're bringing a lot of the imagery in. In this Knight of Cups, this is like, we do see communication. We see someone's cup being full. Are you ready for this? Because this hand is outstretched to receive, to take. Although this is the right arm, which is, I would usually associate with the giving. So like, this could be the offering of something. Tell me more about the Knight of Cups, please. We have like preparing for the opportunity. Part of preparing for the opportunity is choosing the way in which you want to act towards something. Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles cannot show up. This cannot show up until you're ready to, until you've made that choice and decision. Like again, the runway has to be cleared, right? We have the Ten of Pentacles, which was in a reverse when it came out. So it's the idea of the plane can't land if the landing strip is riddled with things, right? Part of that is you making that decision of, okay, how do I want to do this? How do I want to go about this? Something has to be done. What is my, which course of action am I taking? Or do I choose? Which option, which path to bring about a desired outcome do I want to choose? And how, and the way in which I want it to be created, right? Again, Ten of Pentacles, Eight of Swords. It can't land, it can't come in if you are not ready, if you're not willing to accept it. We have another Two of Swords. It's like if you're hesitant towards building in a new direction. The opportunity that would be set to come in, being prepared for the opportunity, could bring a sense of longevity and long-standing safety and security. Again, but you have to choose it. You can't be hesitant towards it. I would say you have to be a bit more of the Emperor energy, which is the stance of taking the self out of it and being the objective. What is the greater goal? What is the greater good? Right? That is how empires are built. What has more longevity? What has more standing? What has more potential? And there's a sense of not letting emotionality in it. Like, because the Emperor reminds me of executing actions that are necessary for the greater good without consideration to sometimes necessarily impact to others. Again, people can't necessarily say something to you, but it's like there's evidence already. And so the Emperor, again, he just makes decisions for the greater good. That doesn't mean that there are not, for the sense of preservation and expansion. Like there's just, he's not as concerned with, I don't like the term. I want to be like, he's not always concerned with the casualties of his decisions. That's how you have to approach this mentally. This is the mental standpoint that you would have to take towards this decision. It has a bit more of an objective, less emotionally involved energy to it. Two of Swords can talk about the stagnation of being not willing to make a decision. And we see that here by her holding on to both swords. And these could be two things that are true. And I always tell people, when two things are true, you're at a crossroads, right? And it is, and the way that I help people understand, like, how do you make that decision? Which one requires you to forsake the self the most? Which one requires you to forsake an aspect of the self the most? Because sometimes you'll have two of them where it feels like there's some sense of sacrifice that needs to be made. But you see her tearing apart right here. She's ripping into, it's ripping her at the core when she doesn't decide. And that's ruining both potentialities. That's not living into either of those truths. And so there's this sense of determination with the Emperor. Like, you have to be of the Emperor energy. And I want to tell you, an emperor will make decisions for self-preservation over. And I know that that's really harsh in the global view, because there's a lot of people that perverse that take. And it's more of an emperor in reverse, where it's at the expense of other people. But I would say the emperor upright doesn't let, because if you make decisions for others or with others in mind, it's at your expense. You can't build an empire if you don't, you can't be an emperor or an empress if you don't first take into account yourself. It's not worth doing if it's at the expense of yourself. And again, so when the 10 Pentacles did come out in reverse, and it's kind of like, the idea of that, I feel, is one of the options, one of your recourse, like I could do this or I could do that. I know I have to do something. I could do this or I could do that. With the Two of Wands, it's like one of them, very much so, is going to be you being the person left on the outside. You will not have that security, that safety, that sense of stability, and it's like, in this situation, you must, it's imperative to make choices, stand your ground, stand in your beliefs. And that's the other thing, the Emperor will not secede. They will not give in. They will see it through. So yeah, I just want to say, I think that there's a decision, and the Ten of Pentacles really talks about the good of all, really. There is a decision here that does take into consideration, that really is the best for all. And I want to say that's going to be the one where you do not do something at your own expense. That's not the right choice. Okay. All right, so let's put this one back. Anything else that you want to, oops, we dropping stuff. Ooh, shoot. Okay, so they want me to, thank you, Hermetic Tarot. Dang, I have knocked 3 things off. Just by, Two of Swords again. Peace restored. Well, the Two of Swords is like, there's 2 truths, right? Which one, and if you don't choose, right, it'll tear you apart. It'll be worse for you. You'll feel divided. You'll feel better once you choose. That's where peace restored is. Once you've made the choice of how you want this to go about, and once you have put your intentions, your thoughts out there, there's peace in focusing, in taking the actions that are necessary. I think this feeling ripped and torn apart, like is the worst part of it. You will feel better to have to choose yourself once you've done it. King of Cups. Yeah. He is, You know, again, okay. It's the emotionally intelligent choice to make. He's the epitome of, I know what's worth investing my energy and time and emotion into and what is not. I know what I should be pouring my heart into and what isn't. And I reserve what's in my cup for me. And I am particular about who I share that with or what I share that with. But they literally were just like, it's the emotionally intelligent decision. Yes, it is about self-preservation, but it's almost like, because it's the emotionally intelligent one, it is also the thing that restores your mental. It mentally preserves you as well. That's the decision you should be making. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. I believe that this is given the information that is necessary up to this point for this week. I hope that this message just finds whoever it is meant for, and I will see you guys later on next reading.